just waiting for I suppose, the names, if you will. Jenny Agutter and Sheridan Smith. Lots of press, lots of big cameras. My camera and my record equipment. Tiny stuff compared to... There we go. And Jenny Agutter's arrived there. And you can see her in her red dress. Just sort of to one side of Morgan Matthews. Morgan Matthews is the director? Yeah, the director of the film there. So, oh, hang on, spot of rain, just the job. I think it's just a passing cloud. And I've met Jenny Agutter a few times, and she doesn't look any older. It's frightening. Still lovely. So, just let the photographers do their thing, and then we'll see what else befalls.
Right, hi, my name's Eden and I play Patty. Hi, I'm Bo and I play Lily.
Excellent. So, these are big boots to follow from the original film, aren't they? Has that been the thing, or have you just got on with the work and done it?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, watching the original coming to this exact station, it was magical.
Yeah, and having Jenny from the original film as well.
Working with her was a dream. I couldn't have seen it any other way. I mean, when she came in, when we saw her lit out the whole set, it was amazing. And there was so much to learn from her. She was calm, she was professional, she had a little twinkle in her eye.
So, did you know the railway and the area before you came on?
I hadn't been here. I live really quite far away, I mean, for me.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'd seen it in the original film. I was going in the rooms when I first came here, taking pictures. I was like, oh my goodness, not realising I was going to be here for the next 2 months.
Yeah.
But it was amazing. You could see it all playing out, the scenes and everything.
Have you seen the whole film yet, or is it going to be a...
I have seen it, so I can't wait for you to see it.
Oh, well, I can't wait either. That's brilliant stuff. Look, there's so many people here. I'm going to let you get on and talk to other people. Thank you ever so much.
Thank
you.
Nice meeting you, Jen.
Hello, I'm John Bradley and I play Richard in Railway Children Return.
Which is Perks, isn't it?
Essentially, yeah, it's Perks' grandson. So Bernard, there was touch and go whether Bernard was going to reprise his role of Perks, but when it was decided that he wasn't able to do that, they called me in and I stepped in, and it's an honour, and it's a bit intimidating to step into those shoes, but I gave it my best shot.
The whole thing must be intimidating for the actors concerned, because it is such an iconic and constant on television type of film, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's always present in people's lives, and also people have so much affection for it.
Yeah.
Even though a whole 50 years worth of children have grown up watching it on television, as you say. So to play a part in that lineage of sort of cinema history, and to do a follow up 50 years after the original, which hopefully will have the same, fingers crossed, will have the same place in people's hearts going forward as the original did. It's an enormous honour, but yeah, slightly on the intimidating side.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose the amazing thing is 50 years later, very little has changed of the forming areas, really. It's much as it was. Yeah,
well, that's one of the great things about it as well, that all this is still here. And all this is still tangible and it's real, and I can look out of this station, look across that landscape and see the same landscape that Bernard saw when he was filming the original. I just think that type of thing is very rare, and it's very rare to have a landscape like that that's not been CGI'd and not been drawn and not been created on computers. The fact that it's all real, and it's a great advert for Yorkshire as well. It's a great advert for the place, it's a great advert for the landscape, and hopefully, fingers crossed, people will see this and come up and see it for themselves.
Whereabouts are you from?
I'm from Manchester.
Oh right.
My mum's maternal side, they're all from Yorkshire. They're from Thorn, Doncaster.
Oh, you're right. Nobody will beat you up then.
Well, exactly. Yeah, very true. So when I come here, it always feels like coming home to a certain degree. And to get the chance to work here, it was just too good an opportunity to turn down.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to seeing the film later on.
Thank you.
And thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. My pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm Danny Brocklehurst, the writer.
Big shoes to fill and a lot to follow on to. How was that for you?
Yeah, absolutely. It was fine because I think when we started working on it, I just wasn't really thinking that it would be it's not a sequel. It's not like a remake. So we approached it like a new story, trying to honour the spirit of the original, trying to keep some of the themes and attitude and emotion of the original. But it is very much a new story. It's about evacuees set in the Second World War, coming to the same village. Jenny Agutt's character, Bobby's here, and the pressure at the time of the writing wasn't that great. The pressure now, as it goes out, is quite great.
Well, absolutely. But I mean, really, it has had to be something new, didn't it? Because it's been made. I think there was 2 BBCs, then the film we all know, then a later television film filmed at another era we won't talk about, but it's been filmed in the original a number of times, so a follow-on is really a great answer to everything, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think that made sense to us. I mean, it's a sort of thing, like it is kind of its own thing. You could just watch this as its own movie, even if you've never seen the original. But I think obviously if you know the original and you know what happens in the original and some of the things that are included, then this film is richer for it.
Absolutely. So when you're writing, did you kind of know the cast? So were you writing for the people involved, or were you just writing and then we'll see who plays them?
No, well, I mean, not with the kids. I didn't have any idea who was going to play the kids. I mean, obviously with Jenny, we knew that we very much hoped that Jenny was going to come back to play Bobby. We were hoping that Bernard Cribbins could be in it. Well, sadly that wasn't wasn't possible because of ill health and one thing and another. So so I was writing the characters I knew that we could have. Well, everybody else was still to be cast.
Excellent stuff. Well, I look forward to seeing it, and thank you ever so much.
Thank you.
Pleasure. Morgan Matthews, hello.
Hi. Is that a GoPro?
No, it's just a really cheap 20 quid one that does the job.
It's actually a camera, isn't it?
It is actually a camera.
Really close.
I just do a little video extra to go with the radio programme, so it's not a high class video thing. Director talking there.
No, I can't help being distracted by the tech.
Oh, great. Well, here we are, launching the film at the exact location in 1970, the original, or the original film, I think, because there was 2 BBCs before, wasn't there, with...
Yes.
All with Jenny Agutt, I think.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's right. Yeah. No, it's the original TV episodes and then the film, but I think it's the film that people really remember. The Lionel Jeffries original. So that's the connection most people have to the story, as well as to Ines' original book as well.
So did you approach it with a clear mind? You didn't sort of look at the previous ones and go, should I do this, should I do that?
Oh, very much. I looked at the original and I rewatched it a number of times, and I think for me it was important to capture some of the essence of the original in some of the scenes, but not overly consciously try to remake it either.
I mean that's to some extent eased off by the fact it's now set in the Second World War, and therefore you've got a whole different lifestyle from that period, haven't you, to the original? But it felt like that really gave it a reason to exist, that historical grounding, to be set in that period when children were displaced, when evacuees were sent from their homes to the countryside to live with new families. Felt like that gave it a real historical underpinning and a reason for those children to make that journey. But fantastic that you look around and this is pretty much as it was in 1970, isn't it? So you've got that link, plus Jenny of course. It's a fantastic link between the 2 films, isn't it?
Very much so, yes. The locations, Jenny, they all give it that grounding, and again, a sort of reason to exist, a reason to come back to Oakworth and to make it. But I don't think it's necessary to have seen the original in order to enjoy this. And that is important, isn't it? I suppose rather like the relaunch of Doctor Who, you didn't have to know the original to enjoy that, and it's the same sort of feel, I would have thought. We've got diesel horn in the background. Look, I know you've been talking a lot. I don't want to. So, look, thank you ever so much. Thank you. I look forward to the film. Thank you. Pleasure.
Gemma Rogers, hello.
Hello.
Producer.
Yes.
Before we start, what's the difference in a director and a producer? Because I'm sure people don't know.
Everybody says what they need to do. Well, basically, the producer is there from the very beginning. So in this instance, like I wrote the original story for the film. I then developed the script with Danny, and then once we had the script, we got the cast on board, and then I get the director on board, and then produce the filming, and then you go all the way through to A Day Like Today. Yeah. So the producer's the first one in and the last one out.
So, has the concept always been set in the Second World War? That was always the way.
It was a very. It just came of the fact that I live in Yorkshire with my children, and we used to live in Haworth.
I used to live in Haworth as well.
I love Haworth. A bit too much, right? And we basically we were watching. They've been learning about evacuee kids at school.
Yeah.
And I was trying to find a film to sort of reflect that evacuation experience, and I sort of came back to the Railway Children. They'd never seen it. I'd obviously watched it many, many times. But by the time I got to the end, I'd forgotten how much Haworth there is in it.
Yes.
I'd forgotten actually how it is all Haworth and Oakworth, apart from that one scene in Whiteler, that one scene where the little children are on the
Yes,
bank.
I know the one.
And I got to the end and I thought, and I knew all the locations were exactly the same. And I thought, why hasn't anyone done a sequel with all the same locations? If we moved the story into the 40s, you could have evacuee children coming to Oakworth, and then of course it was like, well, will it work with the ages of the characters from the original film and Jenny's real age as an actress? And I just literally sort of set about putting it all together, and it kind of was an axe. It just worked, you know. And but it's the fact I think more that because I know the original locations so well, I just knew it was possible. And then of course I'm going down to London going, see, it's going to be easy. There. Never is, but yeah. I mean, it was a lot more straightforward than most films, because most films you're looking for locations all the time, whereas there was no option here because we were following the original film.
How was the production with the COVID thing going on?
It was difficult, you know. It certainly wasn't a normal filming experience in that respect, but we basically created a kind of bubble around the cast. Yeah. And actually that was a bonus for the children, because they all ended up living up above Oakworth in Moorcroft Lodge, and they had a brilliant time because they all sort of bonded, and it was actually like the Railway Children off the set. You know, they were all having countryside adventures and all the rest of it. So it was a COVID bonus. Yeah. But the rest of it was hard. Yeah. And there's no doubt it made it a lot more stressful. You know, you're literally waiting for every day we were testing, and you're waiting for the one positive, and then everyone has to go away. But we were lucky. We got through it.
Excellent. Well, thank you ever so much. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Has it been tricky with COVID? Is there anything you shot during COVID and it got tested?
Yeah. So we all stayed together in a bubble. Yeah. So I think that also ties into how we're so close now, because we were all staying in the same place, and we were bored. We just knocked on each other's doors and had adventures, walked around, and had a good time.
But I guess it's like just another job, because as actors, have you done a lot of acting before the film?
Yeah, I've done some acting. I've done theatre before this too, so yeah.
So it's kind of that's the world we're living in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Dare I ask what you're working on?
Oh, it's a big one, that one.
Or is it all push hush?
Once I finish promoting at the Railway Children, I've got a few things coming out. I've got All Creatures Great and Small, which is another Yorkshire production. Yeah. So I've got a cool little role in that. And then a Channel 4 drama called First Daniel Torrance, which is going to be a cool one. Very good, yeah.
You got a Yorkshire Rose, because you're from Yorkshire, aren't you?
Yeah, I'm from Leeds, yeah.
From Leeds, right.
It was but it's my birthday today.
Happy birthday. So you dropped that in at the last time. Yeah.
Congratulations. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, watching premiere on your birthday, that movie you're in.
You're never going to forget it.
Nice speaking, yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you.
in the original film, which is an awful story. I know, but I wonder whether it does anything to you. It's like,
No, I have to say, I never trained as an actor, so it was really a child. But I from the age of 11, and when I did that film, I just turned 17, and I'd done walkabout before that. So all I could bring to it was my imagination and working with someone like Larry Jeffries, who understood acting really well and would allow me once to get into a scene. And that kind of continues, and that's what I see now with Bo and all of those. They entered entirely into the world of the imagination and played not just the lines, but what their life was.
Was it nice to get that bond with the kids then? Because they were stopping up, living in the bubble, they bonded off the screen as well.
They really did. They were just wonderful, yeah. They all lived near each other. They were a proper little gang. And when I joined, they'd been filming for a couple of weeks before, but they welcomed me straight in. Like, they left little notes for me on the makeup stuff. And then, we got really close. And what Morgan, the director, managed to do is do a lot of improvisation with the kids. And I think that comes across in the movie. There's such a natural way about them and a genuine friendship. And you can't help but just get taken off in their journey.
And was it a film that you were a fan of, Sarah? Did you watch it as a child?
Yeah, and my mum and dad. So yeah, I mean, everyone is so nostalgic, and I mean, Jenny joined just towards the end of the shoot, and there was a big build-up. We were all so nervous, but Jenny walked onto it. It was so emotional, actually, seeing Jenny arrive here and. Like royalty to us all. So yeah, it was a beautiful shoot, and it's great to be back here with these stunning views. It's just
in the train.
Amazing in the train.
You have to remember, it's in the middle of COVID too, so we're in bubbles. That made the family even closer. And it's the first time I've had a chance to work with people actually being close up. It's 6 foot apart.
Yeah. Why was it so important then that this story is told? To pay homage to the original version, but also to take it on.
I think because it's done in the same spirit as Nesbitt wrote. To see the world as children see it, to take that story and bring it to 1944, because I think we've lost contact with the Edward. Even when I was 16 and did the railway children, I felt out of contact. I feel more in contact with it now in a funny way than I did when I was 16. But to see how periods of time in history join up. But 1944 having gone forward, it just makes it much more to do with today. And of course, when we started filming, Ukraine hadn't happened, and of course we're now seeing the families being turned as they are, and the destruction and the terrible thing that does, because we've been taken away from that for a while. I mean, my own parents did not didn't talk about the war with me at all, and they were children during the war. And I feel very separated. And it's important to see it, to see that well.
How does it feel to be back in Yorkshire and in this amazing setting?
Well, I love it on a personal level anyway, because my father's from Headingley, from Leeds. And I used to come up to Yorkshire a lot as a child. I just, the first time I was introduced to steam trains, I've always loved them, and I love train journeys, and to go up on a foot brake today is really exciting. So that's lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm thrilled to be back up here as well. My family are only down the road. Doncaster, that's right. Yeah, and my dad was from Barnsley. But this whole area and the kind of the history here, and with the film as well, and how all the locals came out when we were filming, it's just beautiful. I'm so glad, and I'm so pleased we're having the premiere here, not anywhere else.
The world premiere.
And excited with that. We love it.
The train is ready to leave, so thank you very much, guys. We really appreciate it.
See you later. Thank you.
And do I see Sir Tom Courtney? And of course, the wonderful Sheridan Smith. And then the woman who, well, it wouldn't have been possible without her. It's the reason the film exists. She underpins it all. It's the one, the only, Jenny Agutter.
Can I just first of all say that I won't be underpinning it any longer, because once the film takes off, it will be full steam ahead and people will enjoy this whole new family, which is just really exciting. It is an extraordinary and quite emotional thing returning here today, being in Keighley. My father's from Leeds, so I used to come here as a child. Making the first Railway Children actually on television was wonderful. Doing it again with Lionel Jeffries was very special. It seems like no time at all. And then I played Mother. But now, I think what is very special about this film is that when Nesbitt wrote her story, we lived in a different world. It really was a different world. It was prior to the First and Second World War. So the world has changed. Now this film is full of hope because children always bring with them a great deal of hope. But it also deals with quite a few difficult issues seen through their eyes. And it's important for us to realise that we're in that different world today. So I was really pleased to be asked to do this. So thank you, Morgan, thank you, Gemma, for this opportunity, and Danny, thank you. And thank you all for being here, and I hope that the film does have an enormous success and a following, which our original Railway Children that Lionel made so beautifully has had, which is because of you really watching it and enjoying Nesbitt's lovely story. So thank you very much.